start off with the radar switch. It's just a momentary switch. Master on. Okay, so we're gonna see how we will be mounting. Let me show you the full setup first. This is our rig. So based on the cockpit design, it should be somewhere here. Somewhat, from what I see, it's somewhat aligned to the MFD. So we're gonna do that. So we need a bracket that will hold it. And that now this whole thing here, well, it's my MIP. So this comes out, this whole thing, which attaches to my wheelbase when I do my sim racing. So I need to attach it to this cushion here. It's a 40 by 20, something that goes here, comes down here. Screw it in there. Or just sort of an L bracket. Goes into here, goes down here, presses onto here. So let's make some measurements. Okay. So our miscellaneous panel is a plug-and-play USB controller. It will appear as RD F16-MISC on your list of game controllers. It has 16 buttons, but we're only using 12, plus one soft button, which we will explain later. So we have here button 1, off, button 2, off, button 3 and 4. It's a two-way switch, so one of them will always be on. This is button 5, which is a momentary tactile switch. Okay. And button 6, off, button 7, button 8 is another momentary tactile switch. Then you have button 9, and off, button 10, off, button 11, and off, button 12, and off. Now take note, when we switch off button 12 and button 11, it triggers the soft button number 16. So we can in effect make this switch a 3-stage. Okay, so we need to configure our miscellaneous panel in our DCS control mapping. So most of the miscellaneous panel controls are found under instrument panel. And we start off with a radar switch. This is a 3-position switch, which is an on-off on. In this case, we assign button 1 to silent, and since it's a switch between silent and quiet, when you turn it off, it automatically switches back to quiet. Same way when you turn on button 2 to norm, when you switch it off, it goes back to quiet. And that's the good thing about having a 3-position switch for this kind of controls. Now next would be your laser arm. So the laser arm, you need an on-on switch for it to work like how it should on the game. So that on button 3 you have the off position, while in button 4 you have the arm position. Then you have the alt release button, which is just a tactile momentary switch. Then of course you have the master. Start with the simulate. So it's a simulate to off. Again, it's a 3-position switch. Simulate to off using button 6. When you turn button 6 off, it switches back to off. Then you have button 7 to off. Then you had the advanced mode. So this is more of just a toggle. And next would be our autopilot. The autopilot roll switches. So again, here's another 3-position switch. You switch between steering select or steer point select on button 9, then switching it off will automatically move it to at hold or the center position. And button 10 is assigned to heading select. Again, switching it off brings it down to at hold position or the center position. Now here's the tricky switch here, the autopilot pitch selector. So for this one, you'll notice it's not a 3-position switch. Like for this one, you need 3 buttons for this to work. So we start with button 11, which puts it on at hold. And when I switch it to the off position, it actually triggers a button 16. Switching button 12 will set you to altitude hold, bringing it back to the off position. Triggers a button 16, which turns off your autopilot. And that's how it happens. So here we are in DCS. Let's do a quick test. So I started with the radar switch. There are 2 positions here. You have your silent, quiet, and normal. Going back to quiet. Now in the laser arm, on, switch it off, and your alt release is just momentary switch. Master arm, off position, simulate position. Then you have your advanced mode. It's a toggle between standby and active, but this doesn't seem to do anything on DCS. Okay, then your autopilot roll, setting it to steering point select, attitude hold, heading select, and here you have your autopilot switch. So we have here your attitude hold, and then again button 16 is triggered to turn your autopilot off. Then you have your altitude hold, which switching it off again triggers button 16 that turns off your autopilot. So again, attitude hold, off, altitude hold, and that's it. Happy flying.